Unit 3, Learning Target Number 2. Find the LCM, or the least common multiple, of two whole numbers. When we talk about least common multiple, the first thing we need to understand is what a multiple is. A multiple, by definition, is simply the result of multiplying a number by an integer. And here's what I mean. Let's say we had the number 3. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. And what we're doing is we're saying 3 times an integer times the number 1 is equal to 3. So if we have 3 handbags or gift bags, then we multiply that by 1, we get 3. Now, if we multiply that by 2, what we get is 6. We now have 6 gift bags. If we multiply 3 times 3, then we get 9. So that what we wind up with is 9 gift bags. And so if we keep doing this over and over and over again, we'll get different multiples of 3. 3 times 4 is equal to 12. And what we find is that there is a difference of 3 between each one of these. 6 minus 3 is 3. 9 minus 6 is 3. 12 minus 3 is 3, and so on. So we're basically skip counting. Let's take a look at the multiples of 5. The multiples of 5 are 5, 10, 15, 20, and so on. And those are multiples. They are different from factors because factors would be the numbers that multiply together to give us another number. Multiples get larger. Factors, we get smaller. So for example, if we were looking for the multiples of 6, the numbers would get bigger. 6, 12, 18, etc. If we were looking for factors, however, the numbers would get smaller. We would look for the numbers that make up the number 6, like 2 and 3. So when we want to find the least common multiple of two numbers, we want to find the smallest number that both of those numbers will go into. For example, let's take the ones we have here. We have 6 bows and we have 4 bags. So let's write out the multiples of each one of these. 6, 12, 18, 24. So we've got 6 times 1 is 6, times 2 is 12, times 3 is 18, times 4 is 24, times 5 is 30, times 6 is 36. And that should be enough. Now, let's skip count and do our multiples of 4. 4, 8, 12, 16. Again, 4 times 1 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 3 is 12, times 4 is 16. Now, what is the smallest number? Well, we could keep going with our multiples of 4 and go to 20 and 24. We would have 2 multiples of 4 and 6. 2 of them here. But which one is the least of those two? Which one is the smallest of those two? And that is 12. So the least common multiple of 6 and 4 is 12. Now let's use what we know. What is the least common multiple of 8 and 12? And the simplest way to do that is to simply list out the multiples. 8 times 1 is 8, times 2 is 16, and we can just keep skip counting. 8 times 3 is 24, 8 times 4 is 32, 8 times 5 is 40, 40, 8 times 6 is 48, etc. Now, what are the multiples of 12? And 12 times 1 is 12, times 2 is 24, times 3 is 36, times 4 is 48. Once again, we find that we have 2 multiples, but the smallest multiple, the least common multiple that they have together is 24. So the answer is 24. Let's do it with 6 and 9. Same thing. 6 times 2 is 12, times 3 is 18, times 4 is 24, times 5 is 30, times 6 is 36, times 7 is 42, times 8 is 48, and we could keep going. 9 times 2 is 18, and you know what? We don't have to go any further because we just found our least common multiple. The multiple that is common to both 6 and 9 and is the smallest is 18.